maybe created my passion for music. And it even goes back to what my parents used to listen to. And it always felt like I always was listening to the greats. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom and dad would play Whitney Houston or Bobby Brown or, Aretha Franklin or the Temptations, the Jackson Five, Prince, Jimi Hendrix, just all the great Beatles, just John Lennon, all the greats from every genre. And that probably, what I'm saying, just transferred into, my passion for music. And then I grew up on all the greats, what I'm saying, Ice-T and Ice Cube and Eazy-E and Dr. Dre and Too Short and Snoop Dogg and Tupac. And so, I come from a different era, it feels like, than what today's music is, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that's my music comes out different than a lot of people, I feel like.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know, just that's where it felt like it started. I was getting drunk, freestyling in high school, and then I had a buddy, what I'm saying, that was a graffiti artist that later started a clothing line that was like I got a keyboard and started making some beats, and I started recording some freestyles in his attic where he was living at, and just then I would listen to it and I liked the way it sounded, and I had never done it before, so I just kept going over there and just making more songs and putting more shit together with him. And then I ran into somebody one day that said he had known somebody in South Seattle with a recording studio, like an official one, because I was just on some just bedroom keyboard computer type deal, just having fun with it. And I went over and I checked this guy out, and I ended up, what I'm saying, recording my very first album there, Game Invested and Involved, at Common Sense Studios with a guy named Mike Daniels.
That's
And that's how it all kind of kicked off. And I brought my buddy who was making beats, and he started separating all the data, and we was getting it into the Pro Tools. And then Mike had a nephew named Cuddy who was, making dope beats, and I was getting some beats from Cuddy, and boom, my first album ended up, what I'm saying, coming together while I was going to college in Arizona at the time. And this is back 2002, 2003 is when I first, started really getting in the booth. So that's where it all started. And that's how I feel like it came about.
that's 23 years of rapping on the mic. You got what, like 45 albums?
I think it's 55 at this point. And I got like about 10 more, what I'm saying, on the way. I just treat this shit like a job as much as I can. Like, my guy is so busy, I always feel bad. I'm always calling him to try to get in here. I'm just trying to keep the movement going. So
That's fire, bro. That's fire.
I put out everything. I put out everything I make. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of rappers, or I don't know, maybe they do or maybe they don't. They record a bunch of stuff and never put it out, or they record a bunch of stuff and pick the best 15 out of 30 songs. I'm pushing everything out.
He said everything makes the cut.
Yeah, I'll just stay working, man. I'm a workhorse.
I love it, bro. I love it. Now, does that work ethic come from family? Are your parents like that too?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I come from like a long line of hard workers, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather was like a chef and had his own like vegetable garden and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't know, my dad was a hard worker with a 9 to 5, and my mom was a flight attendant for 20 years, and then just she was into singing and stuff back in the day, like national anthems, and she was
That's
in
dope.
she was into creative writing, like cookbooks and stuff like that. So just maybe that's where some of my creativity and hard work maybe comes from, you know what I'm saying? But after my first album, during my time in college, I met Kurupt from the Dog Pound, and I grew up listening to Kurupt from the Dog Pound, and he
As
was
we
one.
all did.
Yeah, so he was one of my all-time favorites. So when I linked with Kurupt at a basketball game in Arizona, and the way we organically connected and the structure of our relationship, you know what I'm saying, it really gave an extra motivational push behind everything I was doing, because it was like, man, I'm connected with Corrupt from the Dog Pound. And it wasn't just like a normal relationship where, you pay one of these guys to feature on your song or something. Corrupt never charged me $1 for anything. He's got, you know what I'm saying, the best heart in the world. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to help me advance and just, you know what I'm saying, just kind of try to take me with him as far as he could take me. And then I got to a certain age where it's like I just gotta take myself, but he did free features for me, and he did intros for me, and put his face on album covers, and took me around DJ Quick and Snoop Dogg and Battle Cat and Be Real and Exhibit, and just the list goes on, and told all them, this is my little brother from Seattle, DZ. You know what I'm saying? And just rep me like that, you know what I'm saying? And brought me everywhere. Just, I even was living in Atlanta with him and Daz for 3 months one summer, you know what I'm saying? From July to August. And my brother Dannon was out there, and I was bouncing around, messing with Kurupt and my brother. And I went out there 2 summers, '05, '06 after college. And that was like when Daz had like a record deal with Jermaine Dupri and was living in Atlanta and stuff like that. And yeah, man,
That's massive, bro.
and Snoop was like doing a summer jam out there. Like I was in the hotel room smoking with Too Short, just legendary shit that, you know what I'm saying? I was just blessed to be in these environments and be around these guys, really, because who am I at the end of the day? Just, just somebody who's trying to just make it happen. And I was just blessed to be in these environments. So
That's epic. Now, did that kind of validation and certification from rappers that we all grew up listening to and loved, did that change your life overnight? As soon as people started seeing you kind of affiliated with them, like, did that open more doors and stuff?
it definitely opened more doors. I remember this one thing that I set up in the Bay Area, like on one of my spring breaks or something. I took Kurupt to the Bay Area, and at first I was making a lot of music with Bay Area artists, and there was like this website called thesickness.net. And back in the day, there was like this thing you could get like a laser voicemail number. And when I initially met Kurupt, I had been in the studio like the night before with a guy in Arizona who was having a few dollars, putting a few things together, and had a group called VSOP, Vicious Soldiers on the Prowl. And he had a studio, and he was saying, because he knew I had, known a few rappers, like I had Spice One and Badass and Marvelous and T Nutty and some of those, King George from Master P's original TRU, like had some of those guys on my first album. So he was like, bro, if you knew Kurupt, I would pay him $10,000 to get on one of my artists' records, right? And then the very next day I go to the basketball game, and my boy calls me and says, yo, are you at the game? And I said, yeah. And he said, you won't believe who I just came through exit 27 with. And I said, who? And he said, Kurupt from the Dog Pound, come up here. So I raced up there and stuff, and I met Kurupt, and the first thing I approached him and told him was I knew a guy that had $10,000 that wanted to get him, you know what I'm saying, in the booth. And immediately his response was, take my number, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what are you doing out here? He's like, I'm shooting a movie. You want to be in it? And he shot a movie called Cut Off in old Tucson, like in a Western kind of like, village type deal. And I was one of the extras in the movie and all that, bro. And I took him, we got the 10 bands, and he was like, man, whatever you need me on, and broke me off some money and was like, man, you're one of my managers from here on out. Start setting up as much money as you can. So back to what I was saying about the spring break Bay Area thing, I put me and Kurupt was coming to the Bay Area. If anybody wanted to get a feature, tap in, you know what I'm saying? So all kinds of different people from the Bay Area called this laser voicemail number and left a message. I remember this guy named Gary Archard called, and he at the time was Messy Marv's manager and Mr. Fab's manager. And Messy Marv was one of my favorites at the time, you know what I'm saying? So I linked up with Messy Marv, you know what I'm saying, and used Kurupt as a networking tool because Messy Marv wanted to hook up with Kurupt. I brought them guys together. They never knew each other. Those are two of my favorite rappers. We went to a big time studio in Berkeley called Live Oak Studios that been there for a long time and had a big old fun recording session. And Messy Marv loved me ever since then. And that kind of goes back to, did that change, you know what I'm saying, just things once I had linked up with Kurupt? Like, Mess would have never loved me the way he loved me or did what he did for me, because he never really charged me for anything either, because when I brought Kurupt to the table, it was like just a whole different level of respect, you know what I'm saying? And then the way Kurupt treats me in front of other people, like, this my little brother, you know what I'm saying, look out for him. And it just kind of just it catapulted me and Messy Marv's relationship. That same trip, Be Legit. We hooked up with Be Legit, and I've been hooked up with Be Legit ever since then. And the introduction came the same way. Hey, this is my little brother DZ from Seattle. So Be Legit's like my brother, you know what I'm saying, at this point, like a big brother type deal. You know, we've been locked in for over 20 years and just, better friends than we got even more music together type deal, you know? And other relationships came from the Kurupt connection too. I wouldn't know DJ Quick if it wasn't for Kurupt. And like they did a group album called Blackout, and I was there the whole album, in the studio, the whole album, at the videos in California, sleeping on Kurupt's couch for the whole album. Like DJ Quick, like just like I don't know, just these some of these places I've been and people I've been around, I still can't believe that it happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's so far in the past when it was all happening that it really didn't resonate or register, like, oh, I go to California all the time and sleep on Kurupt from the Dog Pound's couch and go over to Snoop Dogg's studio and smoke with Snoop Dogg. And like, it even blows me away kind of rewinding and thinking about these type of things. And then also like when I came back to Seattle from college and I was hooked up with Kurupt, people that didn't know what was even really going on, they assumed that I had like been signed with the Dog Pound or like, started thinking I was having more money than I really was or more fame than I really was. But back to what I initially said, just the way that Kurupt, what I'm saying, brought me around everywhere and gave an open invitation for me to go everywhere with him kind of, was always the motivation kind of just behind things. Like I'm hooked up with Kurupt. Like maybe this is, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be a big time rapper or something.
Bro, that story is so epic. Shout out to Vitamin D who made a cameo up in here for us.
Shout out to Vitamin D, man. He let me use the studio, set up the mic, all the shit. Really got me, you know what I'm saying, to where I'm at today, it feels like. Because later in my career, I hook up with Vitamin D and, he got the greatest mixes and the greatest beats and the greatest studio. And, I just, at this point, I'm so picky. It's like your haircut, you only want to just get cut by your same guy, you know what I'm saying, that you go to. So
shout out my son. I got no hair, so I ain't got to worry about that. But my son,
me neither. But it was just like an analogy,
Oh
like,
no, I feel you 100%. At this point,
I don't even get beats from anybody else. I just get them from him. I don't want to record with nobody else but Vitamin D because I don't know. A lot of people don't care about sound quality. It feels like, but I always been somebody who cared about the quality of this shit. You know what I mean? I just want it to be high quality.
Amen. I wouldn't be doing justice if I didn't shout out my man Big Ray West. Ray was definitely instrumental in putting this together. You know what I mean? He was the first one that suggested let's hit up DZ and see if we can't get him on the podcast. So Ray was here with us earlier, and he had some obligations that had to slide out. So
shout out Ray, man. I saw him. He was on here. Seemed like a good dude. Appreciate you guys having me. We'll get Ray back in the part 2.
Hell yeah. Ray's hella talented on the mic. He's holding it down for Des Moines, Iowa in a major way. And he's that guy in the scene out here. So he's definitely one to stay connected with. So without a doubt. But man, okay. So I mean, you do all these epic things. You're locked in with Kurupt. You're you know what I mean? You're kind of Kurupt's guy. Not even kind of, you're Kurupt's guy. You know what I mean? Does that still continue to this day? I mean, that was 2007, so that was 18 years ago. You know what I mean?
Just saw Kurupt a couple years ago. He's living in Las Vegas. He's doing great. I went to his house. We were smoking and hanging out back right in front of the pool. And you know what I'm saying? He had just re-linked up with Death Row or whatever, get the new Death Row deal. And yeah, he's doing great, man. He's shout out Kurupt, man. Wouldn't even be where I'm at today without him.
That's epic, bro. That is so epic. Okay, so that was how the career started. Just to give him a quick synopsis before we leave him at this one and jump back in for round 2. You know what I mean? I want to talk about some of these new bangers that you got out here. I know there's a big gap in between, and I definitely don't want to miss any of the story. But we're gonna dive in a little deeper with Ray for part 2. But I definitely, I mean, my homie Yuckmouth and you got a long history. Yuck is my guy. He's been on here with us. You know what I mean? I got linked up with him through my homie Tech 9. Salute Tech 9. I wouldn't be here without him. Tech is Tech looked out for me like Yuckmouth looked out for you. Tech 9 put me on. He brought me into strange music, had me working for him, put me on, and really was like, hey, this is my homie Steve. He linked me up with 40. He linked me up with MGK. He linked me up with, you plug in the name, and Tech Nine really was the validation that I needed to get in the door. So,
Right.
um,
Well, good.
hell yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Now that you bring up Tech Nine, I see that X Rated's over there now that he's out of jail.
Yup,
And
I've been
Rated
working.
he was living in Seattle for a minute when he got out, and then I think he went to Vegas, and now he's out there. But I like that whole look for him and stuff because X Rated's really lyrical, and I got a feeling that guys like Tech Nine are a fan of X Rated and want to just give him a boost. You know what I'm saying? So he got him over there because he knows he can really do something, and he might not get the independent recognition if he didn't have that kind of push behind him. You know? So
Yeah,
I like and Sibo is a good buddy of mine, and Sibo and X Ray have been doing some things, and I mean a lot of these guys looked out for me, like how Kurupt looked out for me. You know what I'm saying? Sibo always been a big brother and looked out for me. Yuck always been a big brother and looked out for me.
he's
And
a
I'm
real
saying
one.
these relationships and go back to 2001 2002, so really we've all been locked in for over 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Them coming to Seattle, calling me up, me picking them up from the airport, riding around smoking weed, calling people that want to give verses, lining up verse money, breaking bread. We've been doing this for a long time now, so it's just like the rest is history, I guess.
He said, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this, baby.
Right.
Hell yeah. Now that's dope as hell, man. Yeah, big ups to Yuck. And everybody you mentioned, you know what I mean? I see you out there working with Sibo, Yuck, and the whole camp, San Quentin. I mean,
Yeah,
the list goes on, you know what I mean? Your work ethic and the folks you've worked with is on a whole nother level. I mean, I can't say that enough.
for sure. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the recognition, so because a lot of people don't know even about me. I'm still like nobody, it feels like, even after all I done, like I don't know, I feel like I never really got the recognition I deserve, but I don't really do this for the recognition or for anybody else. I kind of just do this for myself, you know what I'm saying? Just for my passion for music, and because I grew up listening to all these people that we're naming at the same time. Now they're buddies of mine and we're making songs on the regular. So it's just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, an accomplishment or just kind of something within its own, you know?
Without a doubt.
Because
You know
I
what I
started,
mean?
I started not knowing none of these guys. I started not knowing how to rap with beats like that my homie was making on his keyboard type deal. You know what I'm saying? And to come to where I'm at now, I know I've come a long way. And it's like Nipsey said, it's a marathon. Maybe this shit ain't even over. Maybe it's just kind of just, and I don't know. After all the years of doing this shit, I feel like more recognition is coming in now than ever. So I'm glad I didn't give up, but I'm never nobody that I've never been like a quitter, you know what I'm saying? So, but I just feel like, the money's coming in more than it has. The recognition's coming in more than it has. I'm getting more views on YouTube. I'm getting more positive comments and, you know what I'm saying, the negative, not really no negative. Like I remember there was a time when, a lot of people doubted me, bro, you know what I'm saying? And just felt like I proved them wrong for sure with my consistency and repetition and the moves that I continued to keep putting together. There's like many times where I've been knocked down and like got right back up and did it even bigger. You know what I mean? Just and so yeah, man, I'm here to stay. And I don't know, some of that shit you mentioned, like it started off as features, but some of the things that I'm doing now, because I noticed that the features don't really get as much recognition as what I'm doing now, which is a group album. Because maybe if you did DZ featuring Sibo, that doesn't pop up on Sibo's page, his Apple Music, his YouTube, his Spotify page like a DZ and Sibo. Whether it's an album, whether it's a song, you know what I'm saying? So now I kind of just instead of getting a feature is like doing an album with somebody.
Yeah.
Like I did an album with Sibo, I did an album with Yuck Mouth, I did an album with San Quinn, I did an album with Messy Marv, I did albums with, you know what I'm saying, people from Seattle, like, you know what I'm saying, even tried to help other people from Seattle kind of just get like out there, you know what I'm saying, on share my platform type deal. I
Yeah.
had t- I had two artists from Seattle. They both got killed. You know what I'm saying? Shout out and God rest their soul, Luck Laugh and Emerald P. And I got group albums in my catalog with them, and I've put out solo albums for them, you know? And also another thing I feel like that adds to my just how well rounded I am with this shit is I really always loved R&B too. So I really enjoy making songs with R&B artists, having singers on the hooks, you know what I'm saying? And even back to, artists that I grew up listening to, some of my favorite songs always had singers on the hook, you know? Like I don't know, for example, that song Do You with Do or Die. I
Hell
just
yeah.
we just had Do or Die over here and did a song with Do or Die last week when they were in Seattle. But just I like having singers on my stuff. So I'm putting a singer on there, and that'll be out soon. And hopefully, I gotta do a video with them when they come back or something, and just keep pushing, bro, and connecting the dots, trying to put this shit together.
That's epic. That's epic, yo. I got an opportunity to go out there and do an interview with them when I was filming a Choppers documentary, and I got to kick it with them in Chicago. And
Yeah,
there's some real ones. You know what I mean? They brought me in their house. I was chopping it up with them, just kicking it. They were, you know what I mean? They broke bread with me. We sat down and just had a time. And they on a whole nother level, man. Real talk. That's some Chicago legends right there.
yeah, for sure. Yep,
Hell
and
yeah.
I did some stuff with Twister too. Shout out Twister. He showed mad love. Like, man, just it's been a long time coming.
So okay, so we've talked about a lot of the MCs and singers and rappers and stuff that you've had the opportunity to work with. Who's
Yeah.
somebody on that list that you've had your eye on that you'd like to work with that you haven't quite gotten a studio with yet?
Well, one guy I had my eye on was Joel Santana, and I had did something with Jim Jones, and I had did something with Freaky Zeke.
Dipset.
Yeah, and so the last two guys on the list, you know what I'm saying, was Cameron and Jewels. And when I went to the show, I had met Jewels and got his number, and we had been chopping it, you know what I'm saying. And after I did the song, and then Jim Jones came back, we did the video, same with Freaky Zeke, and I sent it to Jewels, and he was like, "When are we gonna do ours?" So I was like, "Yo, let's do it." Like, you know what I'm saying. He was like, "Send me the record," you know what I'm saying, and an X number of dollars or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and I'll get it done. And I sent him the money and stuff, and Jewels never sent the verse back, just ran off on me, you know
Oh
what
no.
I'm saying? And so, I mean, Jewels, if you see this, I still need my verse. I want to make a slap with you, bro. I'm not even mad, but I do, but it's, it was something substantial. I
Yeah.
can't write it off. So I need that. You feel me? So reach out to me, and I reached out to him. He went to jail or something, you know?
Prison. He was in prison for a
Yeah,
minute.
because he went into the airport with that happened like 2 weeks after I was like supposed to get my verse, right? So I'm gonna give him a little benefit of the doubt. But for those 2 weeks before that, he was like, I recorded it, I'm about to send it. I'm just having my engineer tweak up this and that. You feel me? I was like,
Oh.
don't worry about all that. Vitamin D is gonna just like mix it to perfection. Just hurry up and send it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this happened with my computer. So I don't know if he ever really did it or if he didn't do it. But yeah, I wanted one with Jewels. Other people, you know what I'm saying, I want one with, but I don't even know if it's within reach. But all the shit I done, it may be, you know what I'm saying, just because that's the way my stars are aligning. But I wish I could get one with Nas.
That'd be
Yeah.
fire.
Cause I'm a guy that comes from like the era of hip hop where it's like you gotta have bars.
Hell yeah.
Like you gotta be an impressive rapper to impress me. Like gotta be better than me. Like or like you just gotta be dope, bro. And Nas is dope. And I wish I could have one with him.
That
And then I like Young Jeezy too. Yeah, and maybe even Rick Ross. I don't know, cause he be spitting too.
I
And
love it. I love it.
just Ice Cube maybe too.
Cube's out touring right now. I mean, that might be you could pop up in Seattle.
Man, he's here on the 19th. I'm going.
Facts. There we go.
But it's at a big time arena where maybe you couldn't get access to him. I just
Yeah.
went in Cypress Hill the other night.
So I went and saw him as well in Minneapolis.
Man, shout out Be Real, man. He impressed me, man. He
Oh,
has hella energy. I never seen him in concert before. I met him one time in, California through Kurupt and even recorded at his studio. He had a fat ass studio that I went to down there, And yeah, he's got hella energy, and he just seemed like he was young up there, and just they had hits, bro, and I really enjoyed it, and it just gave me, a different. And also, one thing about them is like they're not very learn. Like they were there with a rock band, Suicidal Tendencies, and
Okay.
and they also had a live band playing behind them for a portion for their last set, like a portion of the show. And the beats they rap on are like crossover beats in the aspect, like it feels like they're like borderline rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? They got like the weed smokers. They got like the Hispanics. They got their own lane that makes them just timeless and
It,
classic and legendary. And I grew up listening to Cypress Hill, so yeah. Shout
hell
out,
yeah.
shout out, Be Real, man. I wish I could do one with him.
Hell yeah. Shout out Be Real, Cypress Hill. DJ Lord, I think, is the one that's spinning for him. Send Dog, you know what I mean? That dude's been
Yeah, I
holding
was.
it down since 88.
Yeah, when they came on and they had like their DJ, right? I like immediately looked up on my phone because I had to re-jot my memory. I wasn't sure. I thought their DJ was DJ Muggs, right? Like that must be their. Is that their original DJ? Vitamin D,
He
DJ
is. He's the producer and the original, I think.
Yeah.
He
So
did
I
the beats for House of Pain.
Okay, yeah. Shout out Everlast. I wish I could do one with him. I just like collabing, bro. You know what I'm saying? It makes the music feel more exciting, and it gives me something to get excited about. Like, ooh, I'm doing a song with, like, I don't know, I'm doing a song with Bubba Sparks tonight.
That's what's up. Hey, Bubba's
I
my
did
guy.
I did one last night to send him because right now I'm putting together an Seattle to Atlanta album because I never really had no features with in Atlanta. But when I was out there for those 2 summers, I really connected with a lot of people and went a lot of studios, and they showed me a lot of love. And now I'm just reaching back out to some of those people, seeing if the love's still there. And already kind of, what I'm saying, built the whole album. It's just a quick 8-song album, but I got J-Bo from the Young Bloods on there. I got
Okay.
Sean Paul from the Young Bloods on there. I got a dude that really be spitting that maybe not a lot of people heard of named Four Eyes on there that I ran into when I was out in Atlanta. I got my buddy Actual, who's from Stone Mountain, Atlanta, on there. He's a singer. I'm getting Bubba Sparks on there because I think he's like 1 hour from Atlanta, like Lagrange or something like.
LaGrange. Yep.
Yeah, so I knew he was close, so I wanted to include him, and he was somebody I met years ago out there, and yeah, bro,
Legendary.
just putting shit together. But yeah, that makes the music more exciting, gives me something to be excited about. I like doing solo songs too, and also it feels like I'm getting better at my hooks. So I just wasn't really a hook guy, so I just now that I'm working on my hooks, maybe I will make some more solos. But I'm just enjoying putting a verse and a hook on things, sending it out.
That's dope as hell, bro.
Hey, but a lot of the music I've made, just what I'm saying, so it's been in person. It's never been that sending out shit. You know what I mean? But it's always been in Seattle. It's always been in person. I've done a lot of shit in LA before with cats in person and in the Bay Area in person. But that's the way I like to do it, you know what I'm saying? So we could just kind of just vibe off each other's energy and just kind of just go off of that. Like I done albums in 2 nights. All these group albums, they're all happening in 2 nights. Like Rich the Factor will come here. We'll just come to the lab and stay here all night, just rapping, and this shit'll be done in the morning. Jay Diggs, we did 5 songs one night, 5 songs another night. The shit was done.
Shout out
And
to
then
the Orcas.
yeah, and then I build it all up, you know what I'm saying, and put a feature here or there that comes into town a month later or a couple weeks later. Like me and Yuck just did an album, and Richie Rich was in town last week and had Richie Rich come through and get on one of the tracks. And yeah, bro, just putting shit together.
That's so fire. That's so fire. Okay, so we've talked a lot about you. We've talked about your career and where you're going. I'm gonna throw one more at you, and then let's put a pin in it, and we'll circle back around. We'll come back to it with the homie Ray, because I feel like we got
Yeah,
so much.
yeah, that sounds good, bro. Let's do
We,
that.
we got so much dope stuff to talk about, and I'm having so much fun. But I feel like I left my dog back at the crib, and I got to
It's
pick him
all
up.
good. It's all good. I got vitamin D right here. I don't want to take up too much of his time. We got a few things to do. So yeah, what's on your mind? What's the
Hey
last
man,
thing?
I want to know. I mean, you've been in the game for a long time. You've been grinding hard out in Seattle. Who do you think? Who do you see is coming up out the ranks? You know what I mean in Seattle that you're like, man, that people need to take notice of him. This dude's been punching the clock in Seattle, and I think he deserves a little no, you know what I mean. So some eyes on him. Who do you think is
Man,
out there?
really know, man, to be honest with you, but I had just to say this, I always made these one albums called The Northwest Wing, and I always built them up with Seattle artists. That was what it was. It was me just do one verse on every song, put all Seattle artists that are up and coming on every song, ones that don't even mess with each other, you know what I'm saying, that never had songs with before, and just build it up like that. And I did 4 of those for Seattle, you know what I'm saying? Once I got kind of like my platform, and these other guys are up and coming, I wanted that I thought was even tight, that was either kind of, just tight or was already kind of doing their thing, and I wanted to give them an extra, outlet. And I put the just I geared those albums towards that, and then also I did 2 other albums because I didn't want to keep going into number 5. I changed it Northwest Whale Orca Movement, and I did 2 albums. Even one of them was a double disc. I always wanted a double disc since Life or Death Biggie and All Eyes on Me Tupac. So I did a double disc and did 24 songs with all Seattle artists that were up and coming, you know what I'm saying? So for anybody that wants to know who's from Seattle, go check out those 6 albums. The list is too long for me to name of who's tight from Seattle, you know what I'm saying, that who needs a spotlight on them. I try to put my spotlight on them, but even since then, it seems like there's a few new cats from Seattle that are, you know what I'm saying, if I did another one, I would reach out to them type deal, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, just one cat off the top of my head. He's not even from Seattle. He's from Tacoma, and he's dope. That's 30 minutes south of Seattle, and he's dope. And he just ain't serious enough about it, but he is serious enough about it because he got content out there already. You know what I'm saying? But he just ain't pushing like me. But who is? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I don't know. So his name's Block Rep Shad though, and
Okay.
he's got bars. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm into bars.
Me too.
So shout out him. I don't know. He was on one of those Northwest Orca movements. I got a song on there with him, and I don't know. I told him that if we, because I just been working with guys that are bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Not so much Seattle guys, but I might circle back and do some more shit just to, I don't know, just stay entertained. I
Hell
want
yeah.
to do one with Sir Mix-a-Lot though.
That's a Seattle legend right there.
Oh man, I got his number. He always shows me love. I haven't been to his house, but I hit him up recently. He never responded, and we've been talking about it for years. And I just feel like now is the time.
He
I
said,
want
my
to.
Testarossa part 2.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to get one with him. I want to get one with Macklemore if that's even possible. He seems like somebody. You know what I'm saying? Some guys I never worked with from Seattle that I feel like maybe are even bigger than me. But what classifies how big a person is, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a big body of work. If you just make one hit album and you go on tour all over the world, but you don't got no songs with Snoop Dogg, The Game, Too Short, E40, Be Legit, Spice One, you know what I'm saying? And 50 albums to go with that and 100 visuals. I'm not sure how you gauge who's bigger, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. But I just want to get some with them and another guy named Kid Sensation, who was like kind of like Sir Mix-a-Lot's era, just to like do, and another guy from Seattle named Framework that was rapping before me. Just a couple of the older cats that kind of was just doing this before me type deal.
Bro, your story is I can't say it enough. Your story is unbelievable. It's phenomenal. It's amazing.
Hey,
And
I'm
to
not even I'm not like I've only done, this is my 10th interview. I'm not even a professional interviewer, podcaster, you know what I'm saying? So everything's just, I didn't map this out or plan this out. You've seen how everything went, you know what I mean, to just get us to where we're at right now. So hopefully this is, what you wanted, and this is cool, bro. I just try to touch on just everything I can and elaborate on it for you. Like, maybe I said too much, maybe I said too little. I don't know.
No, bro, this was a pleasure, man. This was phenomenal, and I can't wait to get you back on. I'm super excited to interview Vitamin D. Stay tuned for that, y'all. And
Yeah.
this was a pleasure, man. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate
Man,
you.
likewise, man. I appreciate you having me. And yep, I'm right here. I'm gonna help you promote it and all that, bro. Like, just good looking, bro.
Hell yeah, we're gonna have to get you out here on the scene in Des Moines, man. We'll bring you out here to perform or something, homie.
Shout out my boy Jason Warren from Seattle that I played football with. He went out from Seattle to Iowa. The only person I ever knew went to Iowa. I don't even know where Iowa is at. I guess the Midwest, right?
We in the middle of it all, yo.
Right next to Kansas City.
180 miles away.
All right. So, anyways, he's out there. He played football for either Iowa University or Iowa State. Not sure which one, you know. And now I think he's a football coach, coaching kids and doing youth programs and shit like that. But shout out my boy Jason because he's the only one out there.
That's what's
But
up.
now you, bro.
That's right. That's right. You
Yeah.
got a plug out here, homie.
Now I'm connected with you. So yeah, and if you ever come to Seattle, man, you got me. So it's good.
Shit, I'm coming, bro. You ain't said nothing but a word.
Hey, it's all good, man.
That's
Let's
what's up.
kick.
All right, y'all. And so we're gonna put a pin in it for now. We're gonna come back around. You'll be watching for number 2 with the homie DZ out of Seattle.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Shout out MCTV.
All day.
Shout out that motherfucking Steve.
Hey, I appreciate you, dog.
Shout out your boy. I forget his name.
Big Ray West. Big Ray West.
Big Ray West. You feel me? Don't get him confused with the whatever he said when he was on here. The west side of Iowa
He
is
kills
not
it.
the west side of you feel me? The coast. That's what he said, right?
That's what he said. Yep.
He said west side. Don't get it confused with the west. You already know.
Yeah, all day.
All right.
All right, y'all. We out. Peace.
All right, we out. Peace.
We've been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jumps. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice won. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like Cassius Clay. Passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé.
Don't play with us, them moves ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck 'em like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, sharper than a razor's touch. We hit that strip and get the cake up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up.
Big balls don't take